I used to give reactionary centrists a pass. I'm done. I need to confess something. For years, I treated reactionary centrists like they were an annoying but necessary wing of the Democratic Party. Reactionary centrists are essentially people who take center positions between the left and right in politics, but end up reinforcing right wing frames even if they're not based in data. Like, sure, those reactionary centrists were punching left, and sure, they scolded movements that I think had a moral undertow and that I supported, and sure, it seemed like they loved procedure more than people. But I always believed, hey, we needed them, right? We needed those people to keep the right flank in the party and therefore to win elections and therefore allow democracy to thrive. But now, I think that deference was a mistake. Not because I became a purity cult weirdo, but more because I painfully started noticing a pattern. They can't stop Trumpism because they refuse to name the system that produces it. And their messaging keeps reinforcing the very narratives that make Trumpism feel natural. In 2020, I was vote blue no matter who. Not because I was thrilled, I was just terrified, like a lot of us. I believed in the theory Democrats need to appease their right flank, reassure donors, reassure editorial boards, reassure the sacred imaginary swing voter who is apparently always one New York Times op-ed away from becoming authoritarian, and I bought into that framing. I thought, Trump is the monster. The establishment is the castle whether we like it or not, and we need to vote for the castle even if it's built on mold. By 2024, I was still doing it, but way more grudgingly. Like, fine, I'll eat the vegetables, but can we please stop acting like the vegetables are a moral identity? Here's the thing. Sequels reveal the machinery behind the monster. The first movie is scary because you don't know what you're dealing with. The sequel is scary because you realize what it's made of, that the machinery behind the villain was a lot more closer to home than you would have liked to have thought. That's how I've started to see this moment. Trump isn't the only story. And trust me, a lot more smarter people have been calling this out since before Trump, so I do give them credit. Trump is a sequel that reveals the orderly establishment is actually built on power, often coercive power, with a legitimacy soundtrack playing over it. Look at the Greenland news cycle right now. It's treated like a Trump weirdness story. Like, haha, he wants to buy Greenland again, how silly, and then everybody runs to explain the process like it's a real estate closing. But this isn't just weird. It's a mask-off display of a deeper logic. When soft power erodes, hard power takes over. Joseph Nye's soft power concept is simple. He's an international relations scholar. He says that soft power is when people follow your lead because they trust you, admire you, or believe you're legitimate. Hard power is when you replace persuasion with coercion, tariff threats, and force. In Greenland, full of tariff threats, full of demands for control, and allies scrambling to respond, now it doesn't just reveal Trump's temperament, it reveals what happens when the rules-based order brand can't do the job anymore, so coercion steps in. This is why I keep thinking about Paul K. MacDonald's 2009 essay in Daedalus, Rebalancing American Foreign Policy. It's the journal for the American Academy for the Arts and Sciences. His point is that after Iraq and Afghanistan, basically, American doctrine got too grandiose, too addicted to its own dominance, and too unwilling to accept limits and constraints. So he warned, the more you try to prolong American dominance, the faster you erode American influence. That's not a moral critique, that's a strategic one. You become your own worst enemy. He was describing a fork in the road. Humility as strategy versus dominance as identity. And in the years after, we did a little surface level retrenchment. We had some withdrawals, pivots, rhetorical restraint at best, but we kept the deeper habit, primacy as default, compromise as weakness, and legitimacy as branding and branding only. And here's where the reactionary centrists become part of the problem. They build their whole identity around being the adults, order, norms, procedures. Trump is the enemy of an otherwise decent system. But if you can't admit that the system actually depends on coercion and hierarchy, if you can't admit that American exceptionalism functions like a brand more than a reality, then you can't actually message against Trumpism. You can only message against Trump's aesthetics. So they scold the left, moderate the language, trim the demands, and tell you to trust the experts. And lots of times we should trust experts, except for when they've been wrong for 20 years. And meanwhile, these same people, reactionary centrists, keep reinforcing right-wing frames. This is the real cardinal sin. Frames on crime and immigration that are basically racialized, but they can't admit it, or frames on electability and respectability that basically come from a 90s suburban Disney movie. And they also want to tell us what kinds of protests are legitimate. So reactionary centrism really seems to be more interested in punching left and then acts shocked when the public starts seeing politics as a rigged performance. And that's the shift I've made. Now I think the opposite. Protecting the right flank is actually eroding the Democratic Party's soft power and making it harder to build a coalition that can sustain democracy into the future. Because people don't mobilize for return to normal, especially when that normal brought us Trumpism, the degradation of the civil rights legacy, a overturning of a constitutional right for women's bodily autonomy, and renewed just out in the open Christian and white nationalism. No, people mobilize for material security, dignity, and freedom you can feel in your daily life. And here's the thing. Marginalized people like me, we can't live in a permanent lesser evil logic when the lesser keeps normalizing harm just with nicer branding. So no, I don't support voting blue no matter who anymore. Because we can't vote on vibes. We can't just vote on fear. We can't just vote for a party that refuses to name the problem while demanding our loyalty as a ritual. What I am asking for, and what a lot of us in America who want democracy need to ask for, is accountability. I'm calling for things to be said for what they are. In building power that can't be endlessly blackmailed by, but look at the other guy. And yes, Trumpism is dangerous, but it didn't fall from the sky. It grew inside a political ecosystem that kept telling us, don't ask for too much, don't criticize too loudly, don't threaten the brand. The sequel is here, and we can keep pretending the monster is just one man, or we can finally talk about the machinery behind the monster and stop protecting it. Thank you. Subscribe, read at stewonthis.com. Have a good evening, enjoy your loved ones, be kind to each other, and most importantly, tell the people you love that you love them. See you next time.